Okay, story time about when I found out I was pregnant. This was very highly requested, and if this was me a year ago, I probably would never tell you guys a story time.
Hey, yeah, I know they always talk about us. Haters out here really doing too much. Talk too much, online too much.
Hey guys, it's Danielle here back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing I don't know what he's bringing. But today I'm going to be doing a cook with me / story time. I posted on my story and asked you guys like what story times you'd want to hear. And there was a lot of actually like interesting story times for me to talk about. And I feel like to make it less boring of me just telling stories, I'm going to cook while I tell stories. So today I'm going to make tacos. More like just like skirt steak. And if you want to put it in a tortilla, you can. But I like to make it with yellow rice and homemade guac and homemade pico. So we're gonna do that. If you haven't already been able to tell, I really love cooking. So I'm gonna start off by cutting the tomatoes for the pico. And I do need tomatoes for the guac too, but I'm gonna first do the pico. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start off peeling these and washing them. And I took some screenshots of the story times that you guys asked me for. So I'm gonna be right back and I'm gonna check those out and see, you know, which one I think will be the best, save the best for first, and be right back.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I'm back. So I read some of them and we're gonna talk about them. Well, I cut things. So the first story time, this was actually really like, a lot of people were asking for the story time. Relationship story time. Yeah, also, like, don't judge me. I can't cut. Like, I feel like, don't you need to, like, cut? I can't cut for shit. Literally, at all. So anyways, first relationship. So actually, there was this boy, he, like, asked me out in, like, third grade for, to be his Valentine or whatever. But I never really counted that because it was, like, I don't know, we were, like, in third grade, and like on the Valentine's note, it like said like, oh, like they're cleaning out the garage, sorry, will you be like my Valentine / girlfriend? And I just wrote on the little notepad like saying yeah. And like honestly, like to this day, it's not like we ever like broke up because I don't even really think it was like real, you know? So I hate cutting things. This is so, I don't know how people master doing this. They don't look very nicely cut because I don't know how to cut things right, but it's fine. So anyways, back to my story time. So whatever, the boy asked me to be his Valentine, never really thought of it anything serious. Like honestly, I don't even, oh, I just dropped a tomato. I'll throw it in the trash. I honestly don't even know where he's at now. I think the last time I like saw him, I think he like transferred schools, honestly. Like I don't even remember the last time I saw this kid. So that, I don't really count. Even though I said yes to being his girlfriend, I still like don't really like count it, you know? Anyways, that's enough tomatoes. Even though they're not sliced good, we're gonna deal with it because I'm not very good with a knife. And I'm gonna throw these little parts where all the seeds were into the trash. Now we're gonna start on the onion. I count this as my first boyfriend, but I knew this kid, his name was Gio. Actually, I think I've talked about him a few times. He was my first kiss. And he was like my first boyfriend. And he played for the football team that I had cheered for in Pop Warner. And I'm gonna start crying, oh my God. I was pretty popular with everyone, so I kind of knew everyone. What are you doing?
I'm playing with the cats.
So I kind of knew everyone that was like on the Pop Warner team, especially because we all went to school together. We all would go there like after school, whatever. So I knew everyone mostly, and I kind of had like a crush or whatever on him for a while, but I was just young and I didn't really like care about boys. And I just didn't really care, so it never really like, nothing ever happened, you know, like it wasn't anything like that. Until we got like, maybe like 2 years after I'd been cheering for him, we were like, I don't know, like maybe like 10 or 11. It was actually a little bit right before I had, you know, started like getting like kind of into musically or whatever. And so I was kind of just, I was like growing up, you know, starting to get to that preteen, well, I was a preteen, but like, you know, just I'm gonna just take the first it'll peel off because I don't want to risk having onion peel on. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. So back to the story. Like I said, never really cared till we got older, and we were kind of always hanging out. So we were all friends and stuff. And then one day, I remember him telling like one of the other cheerleaders that was like a little bit older than me, like, oh, Danny's like really cute. And she told me, and I was like, what? Like, no way, like he thinks I'm cute? Like, put in mind, like, you know, like I had little like Valentines in school and stuff, but this was like my first time like actually like being like, I don't know, like happy about a guy liking me. Like, I don't know, it was just my first time. And so I was like, oh my god, like really? And then she was like, yeah. And then I remember like he told her like he was like too like nervous to like come up to me. And honestly, I feel like this kind of made me like who I am today, because me personally, if I like a guy, I'm pretty straightforward. And honestly, this is a tip for all you girls out there, for even I feel like for girls too, you know, like I've never dated a girl because honestly, every time I've like talked to a girl, it hasn't worked out, and like we never go anywhere further. But I honestly like really do like, you know, I wish it would have worked out with some of those people, you know, and like got to experience that, you know, with the girl, especially because I am pan. You know, I don't know, people are always like, why don't you date a girl? But like, I'm like, it just has never worked out, you know? But anyways, back to my story. So I always, this like kind of taught me, because I, like, you know, he was like telling them like, oh, like I'm too scared to talk to her or whatever. So like, she needs to talk to me. And then I was like, okay, like I will talk to him. And I was so young, so like I wasn't really worried about like, oh, like, is he not gonna like me anymore, blah, blah. Like I was just so excited that a guy thought I was cute. So that kind of taught me like, to just go for it, you know? Don't be scared. Like, if they don't like you back, who cares? At least you tried. And so that's kind of what I did. And even with Mason, he'll tell me to this day, he'll be like, you know, one of the main reasons that like really caught my eye about you was that like you just didn't care. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you just like didn't care. Like you didn't care to be embarrassed. Like you told me you liked me straight up. And he was like, I really love that about you. And kind of like any relationship I've been in, I've kind of always been like that. I know I'm terrible at cutting, but I've kind of always just been like that and always been super straightforward with the person. And I think learning that, like from that little relationship I was in with him at such a young age, kind of like, I don't know, like made me be how I am. I don't know. Maybe I sound like dumb, but like that's just like how I feel. Also, please don't make fun of me in the comments. I know I'm literally a terrible cutter. I try my best and just it never works for me. And it was really cute. Like I remember like our parents knew about it, and we would go to like the games together, like the faraway games. Like I would drive in his car, and I remember like being so excited because I like put my head on his shoulder, and I was like, oh my god, like this is big moves, blah blah. You know, it was a cute thing. It was a cute little relationship. And then I think it was like about like 5 months into our relationship, he texted me on like Kik. I don't know if you guys remember what Kik is. I feel like kind of everyone used Kik for a little bit. And he texted me and he was like, I want you to be my first kiss. I was like, oh. I was like, well, me too. It's like, I want you to be my first kiss. And then I ended up being his first kiss. We planned it out. This is another story time, my first kiss story time. I don't think I've like told the full story. So anyways, he texted me on Kik and he was like, I want you to be my first kiss. And it was like a really cute message, like, you know, and he sent like the little kiss emoji. And I was like, oh my god, like me too. Like, I think we should really be each other's first kiss. And so we planned it out. We were like, okay, after practice tonight, because all the cheerleaders and the football players, we all practiced at the same place. So I was like, okay, after practice tonight, meet me at the water fountains or whatever, like the bathroom water fountains. And he was like, okay, like I will. And I remember I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna have my first kiss tonight. She was like, what? Like with who? And I was like, Gio. And we like planned it out or whatever. And she was like, oh, like, okay. Like, you know, she was like, she didn't really think it was gonna happen, you know, because I was so young. I'm getting a spoon, by the way. And so, yeah, we like texted each other on Kik after practice. We were like, are you ready? It was cute. And then we met up at the little fountains, or yeah, the water fountains. And we like literally went like, and then I remember I started jumping up and down. And he was like, yeah, like, you know how boys are. And then I remember like texting him that night being like, I'm so happy my first kiss was with you, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people, they like regret their first kisses, but I don't. I feel like it was a really cute moment. And, you know, like I still like know him actually. So I feel like it was just like, I don't know. I liked my first kiss. I thought it was so cute and like innocent, you know, and especially because when I moved to like LA, I kind of like met some really bad guys, and that just like, I don't know, I just feel like it was so innocent and it was cute. I mean, we all know what happened to me with a guy, so I've had some bad things. So like that, you know, that little cute feeling I had with him has like really stuck with me, I think, forever. It's just been something that I've held on to. I'm gonna cut a little bit more of this onion just because I feel like it needs a little bit more onion in there. You see, it's like a little bit more, not too much. So yeah, and I don't really remember why we broke up, but I remember at the time, you know, right before I started Musical.ly was right when my parents were really bad. That was kind of when they like were really getting to the point where they were gonna split up. And I remember like he would always FaceTime me at night, and they would always be fighting in the background, and I would feel so bad and so embarrassed, and he would like always like cheer me up. It was just cute, you know, it was so innocent, so cute. Times were simpler back then. I didn't have to worry about, you know, I'm literally, this sounds so emotional because I'm like getting ready to cry because of these onions. Oh my God. Like I feel like I'm crying about the story, but I'm not crying about these onions. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is so bad. Oh my God. So I was always the type of person to be like, I'm never getting tattoos. Like, I never want something permanently on my body, blah, blah, blah. You know, how everyone is that doesn't have tattoos. I feel like people don't really understand it until they start getting them. Now, here I am today covered in them. But at this time, I was really, really not against tattoos. I didn't feel any purpose to get tattoos. I didn't really understand them. I thought they were kind of dumb, which is so weird. And you know, my dad has tattoos and so does my mom. So I was never really like, it's not like I like, you know, I wasn't allowed to get them, you know, like I was always around them. So I knew, and I don't know, I just never cared for them. I was honestly just really scared because I felt like I was very indecisive, and I feel like I wouldn't like the tattoos that I got. Anyways, the pico's done. Let me show you guys. It looks so good, actually. I was nervous, but like, it doesn't look as pretty, but look at all the juice down there. And it's gonna sit in there. I'm gonna put it in the fridge so I can like marinate in the lime. I kind of want to put some salt. That might ruin it though, so I'm not gonna put some salt. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge. Be right back.
6 hours later.
Okay, so back to the story time. First tattoo. So anyways, we were in Hawaii actually. This was one of my ex-boyfriends, and we were in Hawaii for, I think it was his birthday? Yeah, like his birthday present or something that I got him. Totally just cut that so wrongly. That is a huge seed. Oh my God. Yeah, so we were in Hawaii and he was getting a tattoo, so then I just decided, I was like, oh, you know, like maybe like a mini one, and that's what I got. I got a little mini tattoo. I've talked about it a lot. My first tattoo is the little infinity on my finger. Honestly, I wish I would have done like something cooler, you know, but too late now. I already have a lot, so I get nervous filming for people, so that's why. So yeah, I was really scared and I didn't tell my mom because I feel like, honestly, like, I feel like if I would have been honest with her, this is not good. Like, if any of you guys are young and you go with your friends to get tattoos, tell your parents before, and even if they say no, just do it when you're 18, you know? So anyways, I got the tattoo and we were at some like random place in Hawaii. So like I said, again, probably not my brightest idea, but we all make mistakes. So anyways, I got this random ass shop. I don't even know the name of it to this day. And I mean, I was a minor, so obviously it wasn't, you know, the most trusting place. But whatever, I was happy at the time because I was able to get it. And so whatever, I ended up getting it. God, this is a mess. I was like, you know what? While I'm here, why not get another one? And I was in Hawaii, and I always wanted, like, I always told myself, I was like, okay, like, I'm only gonna get these 2 little tattoos if I ever get a tattoo. And it was this little wave on my ribs. And, you know, the girl, she's like doing my tattoo, and she tells me, she's like, wow, you're like really ballsy. And I was like, why? And she was like, because like, you know, like fingers and, you know, ribs, they're really painful. They're one of the most painful tattoos. And I was like, oh, really? And she was like, yeah, guys, don't make fun of me. I know I'm not doing this right, but I just can't. I don't know why I'm so bad at cutting / peeling things. So anyway, she tells me that, and that kind of freaked me out. I feel like your tattoo artist shouldn't tell you that, but she did. And I was literally scared out of my mind because I was like, oh my God, I'm literally getting this on the most painful spot. Like, I don't think now that ribs are the most painful spot because I've gotten them a lot more, and you know, like it's different for everyone. Yeah, so she tells me that, and then I'm like freaking out because my mom always told me, she was like, you know, when I got my tattoos, like they didn't really hurt that bad. And I remember calling her like in the tattoo shop with, you know, boyfriend at the time that was doing it. She's like, oh, like, are you getting anything? Like, she was kind of sus. I feel like she, like, kind of knew. She was like, oh, you're not getting anything? Like, are you sure? Because, like, she, you know, like, I feel like my mom knows me really well. She could, like, kind of tell. And she believed me. She was like, oh, like, okay. The one time I actually lied to her. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, whatever then. So anyway, she hangs up. They were at the resort. That time was much better, guys. I don't know if you realized that, but it was a much better avocado cut. Oh my God, I totally forgot to put the cilantro in the pico. But whatever, you know what, it's fine because we're going to cut it for the guac, and oh my God. But yeah, that's the story of it. Then I got home, kind of hit him, which was a dumb idea because we're in Hawaii, and you know, I had to wear bikinis, so getting a tattoo on my ribs, not very smart, but I still did it. But anyways, my mom found out literally the next day. I ended up telling her, I was like, you know, I got a tattoo this thing. She's like, Shagan, you didn't tell me? And she was pissed. So yeah, that was my first tattoo experience. Anyways, I'm gonna make this really quick, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you guys one more story time before I go.
2,000 years later.
Well, I smashed these avocados. I'm gonna tell you guys the last story time. And when I'm done cooking everything, I'll show you guys the finished product. But this is my last story time. This one's pretty scary to talk about. I don't think I've ever talked about this before. Okay, story time about when I found out I was pregnant. This was very highly requested, and if this was me a year ago, I probably would never tell you guys a story time. But I was like maybe a month late on my period. I want to remind people that just because you're late on your period, it doesn't always mean you're pregnant. And you know, I found out now that I have PCOS, so my periods are, you know, very irregular and, you know, whatever. Back then I didn't know that, and so I knew my mom had it, so I was always kind of like, you know, it's probably just like stress or something. That's literally what I thought it was. I was like, there's no way, like, I'm sorry, but like, there's just no way. I did it once and it happened. So trust me when I say, even when you think there's no way, there is a way. And, you know, people also kind of don't remember that no protection in the world is 100% going to protect you. That was my problem. You know, I was just so dumb and didn't realize. So, you know, now I know that and I'm more educated now, but, you know, back then I wasn't, and that's normal. You know, I was young. But, so I was a month late, and I honestly just thought it was from stress. But when I started having these crazy pregnancy cravings, and I didn't believe people about pregnancy cravings, like, oh my God, those things are legit. I mean, I would crave the weirdest things. I don't even like to eat steak, but it was like an everyday thing for me. I like needed steak. Like that was what I wanted. Anyways, I think that's enough. I can mash it with the fork now. I started thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? It's possible because it happened. So I went to the store with one of my friends. You know, there was a couple friends that knew at the time. Not even my mom knew, but I went with them. One friend knew, not a couple. I always like to say a couple to like make myself feel better. Like, oh, like you weren't alone, you know, you had friends. But no, I was pretty alone during that time. And I took the test, and it was really quick. And it came back right away, which that's how I knew it wasn't a lie. Like it wasn't a false positive because it came right away. And so I was scared. I didn't know what to do. My first thought was that my life was over. And I mean, everyone knows it's pretty common knowledge now that I had an abortion. And, you know, even people come up to me and they ask me about it, which, you know, it gets uncomfortable. But I also know that, you know, a lot of people, I helped a lot of people with that. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, I took the test and then I found out, and I think still one of the scariest moments in my life. But I got over it, and look, here I am today talking on a YouTube story time about it, which is crazy. I honestly never thought anyone would know about it. It was something that I really, really wanted to keep private. And, you know, I actually did this podcast. It was like, you know, and they asked me about it. And they were like, you know, like, what was the first thing you thought of? Like, was it abortion? And kind of made me realize that this is like getting deep. But it kind of made me realize that a lot of people that, you know, have never had an abortion or never even thought about it, which is perfectly fine. You know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Me personally, that's my opinion. I think it really helps out a lot of younger girls and older girls who just aren't ready. And I thought to myself, and I was like, you know, that must be like, when people hear that a girl had an abortion, I feel like they think like that was her first choice. Like she didn't even think about anything else. She was just like, I'm gonna have an abortion, which is the complete obvious. And I think if any girl had one, anyone you knew had one, they would probably tell you that a lot of thought goes into it. At least for me, and you know, a lot of people that I've talked to that went through the same thing, they say a lot of thought goes into it, and it's something that you really, really, really need to think about. So call your local women's clinic or Planned Parenthood, whatever's near you, honestly. So I called them. I did the pill one. I don't know if you guys know a lot about abortion. If you do, I'm sure you probably know that there's a pill one and a procedure. I qualified for the pill one because I was very, very early still. But yeah, so that's my story. And I think the worst part was, you know, like telling my grandpa and like my dad and stuff. That was pretty uncomfortable. But I had to come clean because it was literally on the internet. And yeah, and then I decided, I was like, I'm gonna take a break from social media and I'm gonna really just focus on myself and, you know, let myself be for a little bit before I come out. And there was a lot of thoughts going through my head. I was like, you know what, I could deny this and just say it wasn't me. But then I was like, why would I do that? Like, why not just be honest and own up to it? So that's what I did. And I remember being on the flight to Florida and I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take like 2 weeks off social media. I'm not gonna post at all. I'm gonna let myself process what's going on, and then I'm gonna post a video. And I'm going to come clean about everything, like anything and everything that happened. And that's what I did. And honestly, I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made, because here I am today starting my own feminine brand right now that comes out in a couple days. And I'm here being able to be this like woman who talks about women's rights and shares her story with all of you guys, and I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, that's my story. Those are the story times. I'm gonna finish cooking and I'll be back soon. That got emotional, but it's okay. I figured I would update you guys on how it's going. I just put the steak on. I know it looks gross because it's all like flat, but I just seasoned it with sazon and adobo. The best way, honestly. And then I have the rice cooking, which I'll show you guys when it's done. So see you soon. Okay guys, so this is the finished product. Look how cute. And the steak looks that color because the sazon, it like makes it that color. But there's the guac, the pico. This is the rice I made. Everything I made homemade. I didn't buy the store-bought. I made this. And then the tortillas I heated up. And yeah, that's the dinner.